you woke up this morning with stiff knees or that sharp pain in your big toe that just won't quit, you are definitely not alone. Millions of seniors deal with this every single day. But here is what most people do not realize about that nagging discomfort. That pain isn't just a side effect of getting old, because it is actually caused by uric acid crystals forming inside your joints while you sleep. Your kidneys are supposed to filter that uric acid out before it can turn into crystals. But once you pass the age of 60, your kidneys naturally slow down by about 25%. This slowdown means the uric acid backs up and settles in your joints. And then you wake up with swelling and pain that can last for days at a time. The good news is that there are 7 foods sitting in your kitchen right now that can flush those crystals out and give you noticeable relief in as little as 1 week. This isn't a permanent cure, but it works fast because it targets the root problem by attacking the crystals themselves and the inflammation they cause. Let me walk you through the 7 foods that do the heavy lifting for your joints. Food number 1. Tart cherries. Let's start with tart cherries, and I am talking about the sour ones, not the sweet ones you usually find in the produce aisle. These cherries are packed with something called anthocyanins, which are deep red pigments that do something very helpful once they get inside your body. They block 2 specific enzymes called COX-1 and COX-2, which happen to be the exact same enzymes that ibuprofen targets when you take a pill for pain. Since these are natural, your body tends to handle them much better. Especially if you are over 60 and want to avoid taking too many over-the-counter medications. One study looked at seniors struggling with gout and found that eating just 20 tart cherries a day reduced their painful attacks by 35%. That is real relief that happens quickly, because those anthocyanins reach your joints within just a few hours of eating them. The best part about tart cherries is that they work on several different levels at once to keep you moving. Anthocyanins do more than just block inflammation. They also act as antioxidants that protect your joint tissue from the physical damage caused by those sharp uric acid crystals. When uric acid forms those jagged shapes in your joints, they trigger a chain reaction of swelling and pain. But tart cherries can interrupt that process at the source. They do a lot of their work overnight, which is why it is recommended that seniors drink tart cherry juice or eat frozen cherries in the late afternoon. A full cup of fresh or frozen cherries every day is the best amount to aim for. Or you can drink 8 ounces of unsweetened juice, if that is easier for you. The most important thing is to make sure the juice is unsweetened, because all that added sugar will actually work against you and cause more inflammation. Try to have your cherries in the afternoon, so those healing compounds are moving through your blood when joint pain usually peaks in the evening. Food number 2. Lemon water. You might think lemon water sounds too simple to actually do anything, but this is one of the most effective tools you can use to protect your joints. Here is the part that seems a bit backwards. Lemons are very acidic when you hold them in your hand, but they actually turn alkaline once your body finishes digesting them. When your system processes lemon juice, it triggers a release of calcium carbonate into your bloodstream, and that carbonate goes to work neutralizing uric acid before it ever has the chance to turn into painful crystals. This is a massive win for seniors who might have slower kidney filtration, because the lemon water basically pre-filters the acid, so your kidneys don't have to carry the whole load. To get the best results, just squeeze half a lemon into a glass of warm water and drink it down first thing in the morning before you eat anything else. Starting your day this way wakes up your digestive tract and gives your kidneys a much-needed head start on the day's work. Science backs up this alkalizing effect because uric acid is much less likely to turn into crystals when your body's pH levels are more alkaline. You can think of it like ice forming in a bucket of water. If the water stays warm, the ice can't freeze, and an alkaline environment works the same way to keep those crystals from ever forming in your joints. You are essentially changing your internal chemistry to make it nearly impossible for gout to take hold. And the best part is that lemon water is safe for almost every senior and won't interfere with your blood pressure medications. These first two foods on our list work together perfectly because the cherries calm down the swelling you already have, while the lemon water stops new problems from starting. If you stick with this combination for just 2 or 3 days, you will likely notice that your joints don't feel nearly as stiff when you first climb out of bed. Food number 3. Celery seeds. Most people have no clue how powerful they are, but celery seeds are truly a kidney's best friend. These tiny seeds work as a natural diuretic, yet they are much gentler than those pharmaceutical water pills that force your organs to work overtime and strip away the potassium your body needs to function. Celery seeds help you produce more urine, so that excess urate gets flushed out of your system before it can settle into your joints and crystallize. They also happen to contain a special compound called 3N-butylphthalide, which helps relax your blood vessel walls and can naturally lower your blood pressure. This is a double win for many seniors, since high blood pressure and gout often show up together. So you are treating 2 problems with one simple seed. The real secret to celery seeds is that they don't drain your electrolytes the way harsh prescription diuretics often do. When you take those strong water pills, your kidneys are forced into overdrive, and they end up dumping out the sodium and potassium your heart and muscles actually need to stay strong. This is why people often feel their energy tank or their muscles get weak on those medications. But celery seeds work with your body instead of against it. They gently increase your urine flow while making sure those vital minerals stay right where they belong. To use them, just steep 1 teaspoon of the seeds in hot water and drink 1 or 2 cups every day. This method is very safe, and most seniors report that their joints feel significantly less swollen by the 4th or 5th day of drinking this tea. Food number 4. Apple cider vinegar. What if I told you that a common pantry staple could act as a natural crystal dissolver? Apple cider vinegar contains malic acid, and this specific acid works to break down uric acid crystals so your body can finally flush them out through your urine. It also helps your stomach produce more acid, which allows you to digest protein much more effectively. And since your body is processing protein better, you end up with less uric acid buildup in the first place. Taking just 1 tablespoon mixed into a glass of water before your meals supports your kidney filtration without putting any extra strain on your system. You should always dilute it well to protect your tooth enamel, and it is recommended that you avoid taking it on a completely empty stomach. The real work happens while you sleep, because malic acid metabolizes quickly, meaning those painful crystals start dissolving during the night. The way this works inside your body is actually quite simple to understand. Malic acid slightly lowers the pH levels in your digestive tract, and this change is just enough to break the molecular bonds holding those uric acid crystals together. You can think of it like using a gentle solvent to soften something that has hardened over time. Once those crystals begin to break apart into smaller pieces, your kidneys can filter them out through your urine with much less effort. This explains why many seniors report feeling a sudden sense of relief within just 24 to 48 hours of adding apple cider vinegar to their daily routine. When you combine these four foods, cherries, lemon, celery seed, and apple cider vinegar, you are attacking the problem from every possible angle. You are lowering inflammation, flushing out excess urate, and breaking down existing crystals all at the same time. Food number 5, turmeric with black pepper. Now we are moving on to the heavy hitters for joint health. Turmeric is a powerful inflammation fighter that works right at the cellular level. And this is where many people start seeing real, noticeable relief from their discomfort. The active part of the plant is called curcumin, and it works by blocking a pathway known as NF-κB, which is the main trigger that makes your joints swell and hurt. When you successfully block that pathway, your body's swelling response simply stops. While it might not happen the very second you swallow it, the process is fast, and curcumin usually reaches your joint tissues to start calming things down within 30 to 45 minutes. This is incredibly important for seniors because inflammation is the primary cause of that sharp pain sensation. Even if some uric acid crystals are still present in your joints, you won't feel them the same way once the inflammation is gone. You could have crystals sitting right in your joint, but without an inflammatory response, you won't experience the swelling or the throbbing pain that wakes you up at 3 in the morning. This is the reason turmeric provides such fast relief. It helps you feel better even while your body is still doing the hard work of flushing out the uric acid. To get the best results, you generally need between 500 and 1,000 milligrams of curcumin every day. But there is one small catch you need to know about. Your body has a hard time absorbing raw turmeric powder from the spice aisle on its own, which is exactly why you need to include a little bit of black pepper. Black pepper contains a compound called piperine, and adding it can increase your curcumin absorption by up to 2,000%. That is a massive difference that ensures the nutrients actually reach your joints. An easy way to do this is by making golden milk, which is just turmeric mixed with milk and a pinch of black pepper. It is best to drink this in the evening because turmeric supports the repair process that happens overnight, when joint inflammation usually peaks. By the time you wake up on day 4 or 5, you will likely notice that your usual morning stiffness feels much less intense. Food number 6, high-fiber foods. Think of high-fiber foods as a natural sponge for uric acid, yet most seniors barely eat half of what they actually need. Soluble fiber works by soaking up uric acid right from your bloodstream and pulling it through your digestive tract to be flushed away. This process is vital because it stops the reabsorption loop, which is a frustrating cycle where your kidneys filter the acid only for your body to pull it right back into your blood. Fiber breaks that cycle for good. You don't need fancy meals to make this happen, so try starting your day with steel-cut oats, having lentil soup for lunch, or grabbing some chickpea salad for a snack. While the average senior only gets about 10 to 15 grams of fiber every day, your body really needs closer to 25 or 30 grams to stay ahead of gout. The reason fiber is so effective is that it acts like a physical trap inside your intestines. Once your kidneys filter out that uric acid and send it toward your colon, the fiber grabs hold of it to make sure it actually leaves your body. If you don't have enough fiber in your system, as much as 40% of that filtered uric acid can leak back into your bloodstream. Getting enough fiber means you're finally getting rid of the vast majority of that waste. Fiber also feeds the good bacteria in your gut. And these tiny helpers are the ones that keep your entire inflammation system under control. When your gut bacteria are healthy and happy, your whole body feels less inflamed, which creates the foundation that makes every other food on this list work even better. By the second or third day of adding these high-fiber choices to your plate, your digestion will improve, and your body will start flushing out urate much faster. Food number 7. Pineapple. Pineapple is a bit different because it contains bromelain, which is a special kind of enzyme that breaks down proteins. It doesn't lower your uric acid levels in the same way other foods do, but it targets the specific proteins that tell your joints to swell up and hurt. This is why so many seniors feel a sense of relief within just 24 to 48 hours, even while their uric acid levels are still working their way back to normal. You can feel better quickly because the heat and swelling start to fade away, even if the underlying crystals take a little longer to fully clear out. What makes bromelain so unique is that it steps right into the middle of your body's inflammatory response. When those sharp uric acid crystals form in your joints, your immune system sees them as a threat and launches a full-scale attack. Your body rushes white blood cells to the area, and that's exactly what causes the redness, heat, and intense pain you feel during a flare-up. Bromelain actually breaks down the proteins that fuel this attack, so even if those crystals are still sitting there, your body doesn't react nearly as aggressively. You'll want to stick with fresh pineapple because the canned version loses its potency during processing. So aim for about 1 cup of fresh fruit every day. If you can't find fresh pineapple, a supplement of 500 to 1,000 milligrams of bromelain works well too. Try eating it in the afternoon, so the enzyme is active in your system during the evening when inflammation usually peaks. Just keep one safety tip in mind. Since bromelain can thin your blood slightly, you should definitely check with your doctor first if you're already taking a blood thinner like warfarin. Let me walk you through a simple 7-day plan to get you started without overwhelming your system. On day 1, you'll just drink lemon water when you wake up and have some tart cherry juice in the afternoon. Once you hit days 2 and 3, you can start sipping celery seed tea and taking a little apple cider vinegar before your meals. By the time days 4 and 5 roll around, you'll introduce a warm cup of turmeric golden milk in the evening. Finally, on days 6 and 7, you can add high-fiber oats and fresh pineapple to your routine. This slow, gradual approach gives your body plenty of time to adjust so you don't deal with any unexpected digestive upset. The timing of these foods is actually quite important because they all play different roles in your recovery. Starting your morning with lemon water helps alkalize your system right away, while that afternoon cherry juice builds up helpful anthocyanins in your blood just as inflammation starts to peak toward the evening. Both celery seed and apple cider vinegar keep working on your digestion throughout the entire day and night. When you drink turmeric in the evening, it supports your body's natural repair cycle that happens while you sleep. Since inflammation is usually highest at night, this timing is perfect, and the bromelain from your pineapple stays most active during those afternoon and evening hours. Most people start to see the swelling go down by day 3 or 4, which means your joints won't feel quite so puffy or stiff when you first get out of bed. By the end of the week, many seniors report that the sharp, shooting pains they used to feel in the morning have finally started to fade away. You might find that you can walk down the stairs without that stabbing sensation in your knees. Or perhaps you'll notice that your big toe has finally stopped throbbing. If you happen to take blood thinners or diuretics, or if you have a history of kidney stones, you should start much slower with just the cherries and lemon water. Add only one new food every few days and pay close attention to how your body reacts to the change. If you feel anything unusual, just scale back or skip that specific food entirely. And always make sure your doctor knows what you're doing if you take several different medications. The real secret to feeling better is combining those anti-inflammatory foods, like cherries and turmeric, with the kidney-supporting foods that help flush uric acid out of your system. You don't need to try all 7 of these suggestions at once to see a difference. Just pick 2 or 3 that seem the easiest for you to manage, start there, and then add more whenever you feel ready. I'd love for you to try this 7-day reset and then leave a comment letting me know which food gave you the fastest relief. Make sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss our next video.